Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. My name's Joel, and this is A Stable Life. Starting things off in this video, we're going to be talking about what happened after the storm. We actually ended up getting hit pretty hard. We got up to over 2 inches of rain, followed by about a half an inch of ice, and in some places 2 to 3 inches of snow. That being said, we were really happy we made the choice to keep the horses in. How did things go? Well, as you're going to find out, things went mostly good. You can see here that all the stalls are cleaned up and the manure, most of it's taken out. What remains is in the muck buckets for me to take out. Today, we actually have very cold temperatures. Right now, it's 18 degrees. It's going to be getting down to 8. So that means that everything is a sheet of ice. I mean, there is ice everywhere. But we got a problem. We only have 3 round bales left. That's not good. We're actually at the end of our testing round bales. You guys will remember that we had 26 round bales set aside for us to use, and we're down to 3. So what was the results of our test? You might be wondering. Maybe you're curious. I'll be happy to talk about that later on in the video. For now, I'm gonna actually take you guys back a couple of days when my parents showed up, the day of the storm, while the horses were inside the stable, and they were working on cleaning out the stable as well as taking care of the horses. So you see, this storm actually has a lot of levels to it. The storm started off as coming in at a warmer temperature, which means the horses, instead of having their heavier blankets on, which would have made them sweat, they had their medium blankets on. Which means that when this storm hits and then afterwards, when the temperature drops, they're gonna all need a blanket change. Thing is, we could actually use that to our advantage. You see, what we could do is we can have the horses coming in during the early parts of the storm, actually outside, using their medium blanket. Once the rain really starts picking up, we have them all brought in, and then they're out of the bad weather. That means that during the heaviest parts of the storm, the horses are all inside the barn, out of all the rain, which is good for them, keeps them out of the bad weather. And then, before we turn them out, all we have to do is take all those medium blankets off and put on a fresh blanket. They're heavy blankets. You see, their heavy blankets are made of a heavier material. Not only does it keep them warmer, but it also has a thicker material that's better for precipitation, such as snow, sleet, and yes, freezing rain. Because the storm lasted for so long, it started early Wednesday. The horses were out Wednesday, but we let them in Thursday, which is when all the rain hit. And all Thursday, they were inside the stable, safe and dry. Friday morning, the storm was still hitting us, but at that point, it had changed over to sleet and snow. With their fresh, heavy blankets on, and they're completely dry, we were able to let them out. That way they could be out of the pastures. And as you can see, the horses aren't too keen on staying in the barn for too long.
So you may notice that Gavin has a little shoulder guard on. Now this is called the shoulder guard. He's a thoroughbred, he has very thin coat. And what happens with his blankets is sometimes he'll get a rub mark right here on his shoulder. So these guards will protect his shoulders and his wither so that when the blanket's on him and he's walking and moving, it's not rubbing his hair off.
Now you have a cable. So now you can paw, but you won't hit anything.
He's still frustrated, but it's a little less annoying for us.
Hey, did you hit that like button yet? Just checking.
You guys ready for a blanket change, huh? Hear the sleet?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't be afraid. Okay, ready? Hold still. Hold still. There we go. Use your little nose. Attaboy. Interesting, instead of reaching under the horses to get the straps, I reach over top on the other side. Flick them through.
They were going through and changing all the horses' blankets. Every single horse in our stable, all 19 of them, needs a medium blanket taken off and a heavy blanket put on. It was a delicate balancing act, and my mom and I were watching the forecast the entire week to make sure that we got it right. We wanted to make sure that we were able to balance the level of work so we weren't working unnecessarily, but also the horse's comfort and our client's happiness. And things actually turned out pretty well, as you can see. Boy. Now it's at this point that I think you're probably wondering, how did you guys handle all of the ice with the horses? Hey, that's an absolutely excellent question. And we actually did do some things to manage the ice on our stable, but nature actually helped out a little bit too. As Leia is beautifully demonstrating, right after all of the ice, we actually got a very small amount of snow that froze to all of the ice. So during this day, which is the coldest day of the week, it's actually not slippery at all. And there's plenty of traction on the ground, which is absolutely excellent. But that being said, what are we gonna do once all this melts and then there's this giant sheet of ice underneath all that snow? I don't know if you noticed here, but there's actually a trail of manure that goes across. And you might be thinking, what? You laid out manure on the ice? I know, it's not the prettiest thing that you've ever seen, but it actually works really well. And allow me to explain why. You see, when it's raining and we have lots of ice, when we lay out the manure freezes to the ice. And it also is frozen itself. So instead of it being squishy, it's actually hard. And what that allows us to have is traction. So the horses can simply walk along this path that we have made, and they have a simple, easy access into the barn. The same goes for the hill on the back. Then after all the snow is melted, we come back through, scoop up the manure, drive it down to the compost pile. I understand that there's other stuff that we could use, that we could buy in, and it will melt the ice and it's safe for the horses' hooves, but that stuff costs money. This stuff the horses make for us, so might as well use it. Oh, hey, you wondering what I'm doing? Yeah, all of the hinges on the gates are frozen, so, you know, that means I have to unthaw them. Don't mind me. Did I mention that all of the hooks are frozen? Woo! Awesome. That's one. Don't judge me. Oh, we can let this herd in. I have not gotten Poncho nor Weather in yet, but we can let this herd in. So we got Falcon, Champ, Poe, Casino, Rebel, Jack, which is hiding behind Rebel. Look at him, he's hiding. He's camera shy. I was not able to unthaw that guy. That guy is frozen solid. So yeah, it would be at that point that I would use a torch and then use the torch to thaw it out. But we don't own one, and my uncle does. But yeah, I'm not gonna spend a couple hours looking for that. So I'm just gonna walk Poncho through Tucker's pasture now. It looks like Tucker has a loose strap. I'm gonna need to fix that. Look at that. Look at that. Will that work? Well, that works. We'll just come over here and we'll let Poncho out through here. Hey, Poncho. There you go. There you go. Just don't slip. Walk only, don't run. I sound like one of those school teachers that's always yelling at all the kids. Walk, don't run. Be careful, don't slip. Good morning, Suede. Good morning, Spitfire. And here comes the rest of the guys. You can see we have two tubs along the paths. We have one here and one here for the horses to pick from. There we go. All right, we got the old girl out there warming up, getting ready for taking out round bales. All right, we're just gonna open up this gate for the tractor. Okay, I genuinely thought I was gonna have to de-thaw that with my mouth, but good news, I didn't have to. Oh, I love winter, I love snow, and I appreciate a beautiful cold day, but I am not a fan of ice. Never have been, never will be. I admit it is pretty on the trees, but it does cause a lot of destruction and damage, so I don't know if it's worth it. I know Leia loves the ice though, don't you? Don't you, Scoots? For anyone wondering, Leia is a Shar-Pei Shiba Inu cross, and she is 10, right? So I hope that caught you guys up on how things were during the storm and after the storm. We have a beautiful forecast ahead of us of sunny skies, so that means we're putting round bales out. We've been putting out square bales for the time being just because of this rain that was coming. We didn't want to have the round bales wasted, and boy, am I glad we made that choice. Now, come on, buddy. Now, come on. All right, mind the hill. All right, with the donkeys taken care of, we're gonna go ahead and grab the tractor and head over to the round bales and start talking about our hay situation. So yes, these are our last 3 round bales that we have for our test. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, if you're a new viewer or you simply haven't seen the video, I encourage you to check out the video. We started using round bales. Link it up top and down below in the description. I actually go very in depth as to why we are using wrapped round bales and what our test was. So check that out if you haven't already. So yes, these are the last 3 round bales that we had for our test program, which means that that is going to be it for round bales that we have already purchased, which is a sad thing and a good thing. So I'm going to start off with why it's a good thing. That means that none of the round bales were really wasted. Of the 26 round bales that we had, believe it or not, only 2 were actually to the point that we weren't able to feed them to the horses, but we were thankfully able to exchange those out for better quality round bales. And so we actually haven't wasted any of the 26 bales that we have, even though 2 spoiled. The bad thing is that these are the last of the ones that we have paid. So every round bale that we use beyond this point, we're gonna be paying for, which it's not too big of a deal, but it was nice that we had these bales already paid for. So every time we used them, it was just, you know, you're using what you paid for. Now, every time you use one, you know, you're adding onto your hay bale. So that brings up the question, are we actually out of round bales? No, actually we are not. We had a really good hay crop this year. When it comes to our hay crop, we actually were able to bale quite a bit more round bales that were a good quality for horses. I mentioned that we exchanged 2 spoiled bales out. Those are the round bales that are over that you're currently seeing right now. As you can see, there are plenty of wrapped round bales that are here that we could use for our horses. So we're gonna start using this supply. Just every single bale that we grab will add on to our hay bill. That being said, we've learned a lot. We learned that yes, we can use wrapped round bales to feed the horses. Yes, the horses do enjoy them. Yes, there is some spoilage that comes with it. And yes, it's not a perfect system. But we're gonna work with it and we're gonna make it better each and every year so that we can get our spoilage down to hopefully 0%. And we can keep our pastures clean and looking good for our clients. Okay, so my camera just decided that it is about to die now. So it's doing the thing where it gets cold and goes from 30% to 0%. So in case I don't get a chance to record me putting the round bales in, I am super sorry. Yep, the battery died. Guys, welcome to afternoon feeding. Yeah. So we were just over there on the opposite hill, which is where the horse stable is. Now you'll notice that these round bales were not marked with an H. That's because we weren't sure if we were going to use these. There was a real possibility that this test would have failed, but thankfully the test was a complete success, and I am happy to say that. So that means that we're going to start tapping into using these round bales. I hope that you enjoyed taking a look at how we handled things during the storm, as well as our current situation with hay. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't, I'd really appreciate it if you guys hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. And be sure to share this channel with your friends and your family. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.